next speaker for land is Trace Paulette. Trace has been involved in land acquisition and development for 20 years. Prior to brokering land, he was head of the land departments for Pulte Homes and Richmond American Homes. I don't know how you did that at the same time, but that's real good. And he has been involved with the acquisition, development, and sale of over 20,000 residential lots. And he's about one of the most humble pie sales guys you'll ever meet. I love him to death. He's a great competitor, and you'll never hear this from him. He was the winner of the CCIM Land Permit Forecast. That's notable. But what's really noticeable is in the first time in 20 years, the guy that didn't pick the high or the low, but who was sandwiched in the middle, who has like no chance of winning, he was in the middle and banked it. So congratulations on winning that, Trace.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, and thank you for the council for inviting me here today. I don't see the timer. Before the timer started, though, I want to get a show of hands of who was at CCIM last week. All right, we can make this pretty short because it's basically the same information. But I am going to talk about the sales that occurred in the fourth quarter of 2013 as opposed to just the largest transactions that occurred in 2013 that I did at CCIM. So in terms of the largest transactions last quarter, the biggest one, and the biggest one of the year, quite honestly, was the Marrakay's purchase of 125 acres in Rancho Vistoso, known as the Vistoso Donut. And you'll see that the Marrakay's purchase of 125 acres that they intend to plat into 345 lots was purchased for $22.8 million. And True Life was the seller on this particular project. They were able to flip this parcel in less than a year for about $10 million profit. I can say that everyone in that market is like, wow, in that submarket, the landowners especially, right? I mean, they're particularly excited about something like that. True Life purchased that property from two different owners. One was the Armed Forces Bank and Mortgages Unlimited up in Phoenix. The next largest land purchase last quarter was True Life's purchase of 38 acres in Dove Mountain. And that purchase was for $4.2 million, or $110,000 an acre. This is actually going to be a joint venture, I understand, with Miramonte. The third largest transaction last quarter was Meritage's purchase of 24 finished lots in Stone Canyon for $3.4 million, or $142,000 a lot. This actually surprised me a lot because, to be honest with you, there's still some lots that are stressed or distressed in Stone Canyon that you can get for around $100,000 a piece. So for them to go in there and purchase these that averaged out to $142,000, it just shocked me. Of course, they're all together as opposed to scattered throughout Stone Canyon. The fourth highest land purchase was LGI's purchase of 154 platted and engineered lots in San Lucas for $20,000 a lot, or $3,080,000. This one was also a little bit of a surprise considering Richmond American purchased lots there last year, finished and bigger, for about $34,000 a lot. And it's going to take probably at least $20,000 a lot for LGI to develop these. It's going to put them in their disadvantage of $6,000 or so. And then the fifth highest transaction was KB's purchase of finished lots in Gladden Farms. They purchased 69 lots for roughly $3 million, or $44,000 a lot. But that closes out the remaining finished lots in Gladden Farms. KB got to the rodeo a little bit late, but nevertheless, at least they're there. And Gladden Farms is going to be shored up pretty well, and they're planning on selling platted and engineered lots going forward. So in 2013, and I believe also in 2014, the Northwest will continue to be the highest submarket or the most desirable submarket, I should say. Last year, there were 42% of all the transactions occurred in that Northwest submarket. That's an awfully large amount. It's also an awfully large geographical area. But even if you broke it down into some of the, let's just say Marana, I believe there were 17 transactions that occurred in Marana alone, which, if you just took that, it would still be higher than any of the other submarkets. And the next submarkets in terms of volume were the southeast and then the far south. The Southwest had 7 transactions last year, which basically closed out their finished lots. There are really no more finished lots in the Southwest, and the purchase price on those lots that they've been selling in the Southwest basically are about the cost to develop the lots. So it's going to be really difficult for someone to buy land and then develop those lots for the prices that people have been paying for finished lots. Last year, Richmond American was the most active. Richmond American and Miramonte most active in terms of locations. They each purchased properties in 10 different locations. Of course, big difference between them and Miramonte, for Richmond American and Miramonte, was Miramonte only purchased about 51 lots last year. Richmond American purchased, probably over 1,000. D.R. Horton was also very active with 7 different locations, and Maracay Homes with 6 locations. In terms of dollar volume invested in Tucson, Maracay was by far the highest with $28 million invested. Of course, $22.8 million alone at Rancho Vistoso would have put them on top of that contest. Richmond American was second with $18.6 million in their 10 different locations, followed by Sunbelt Holdings with 1 purchase at La Estancia, and True Life Communities with 3 purchases at $13.7 million. I spoke on it just a minute ago, but regarding some of the strategies I've seen, the local builders buying small parcels of land or very few lots and going forward with developing those homes to a national builder or a big builder, someone look at 5 or 6 lots to go in there and buy and build and develop. They're not going to. They feel like it's a waste of their time. It takes too much energy for them to do that. But these local builders have found, and I see it too, there's a lot of value in those smaller parcels, especially when you don't have to compete against a large national. So it's interesting to see the local builders do this. Even though it's taking more time and energy, they're making more profit from it. Last year we saw the LGI homes come to Tucson. We'll see at least 2 new builders come into Tucson this year. And then I also believe that the Northwest, as I mentioned before, will continue to be the most desirable submarket with at least 10 to 15 deals already in escrow right now in that submarket. Anyway, I thank you all very much for listening, and I'm sorry if I've repeated almost everything I said last time, but it was a little bit different information. Thank you very much.